Chief Keef just crossed a line nobody thought he would. He teamed up with NBA youngboy Oblak's most hated rival. And now whispers say his own block wants him gone. F members are raging online, claiming they don't recognize Sosa anymore. And this feud is spiraling toward something lethal. But the truth is deeper. Keef cut ties with Oblak years ago, and today we're exposing why he walked away from the block that crowned him king. Chief Keef was Oblak's golden child, the drill pioneer who blasted Chicago onto the world stage. Yet, love turned into betrayal fast. That link-up with NBA youngboy didn't just shock fans. It ripped open secrets that had been simmering in silence. To see how Sosa went from royalty to enemy, we have to rewind to the beginning and reveal the story nobody dares to tell. Back in the early 2000s, Chief Keef was just Keith Cart, a skinny kid from Parkway Gardens, known on the streets as Oblak. He was tight with the whole circle: King Von, Boss Top, Trey 5, and the rest. These weren't industry friends, they were brothers forged in concrete and gunfire. All black disciples, all from the same block, all surviving together where loyalty was life or death. Keef was grinding on that karaoke mic while Von built a feared street name. Boss Top was the respected big homie, and Trey 5 carried a reputation that made enemies nervous. This was before fame, before cash, when survival was the only dream. They stood together through raids, shootouts, and chaos. If one got locked, the other scraped money. If danger came, everyone rode. Keef and Von were inseparable, young and reckless, doing things that can't be spoken. That bond felt unbreakable. Then 2012 hit. Everything changed overnight forever. You can't really fault Keef for choosing survival over street loyalty. He had just inked a multi-million deal, and one wrong move could have burned everything. But the homies didn't see caution. They saw betrayal. In their eyes, fame erased his memory. And then came the moment that shattered everything and made Sosa erase Oblak from his life forever. Trey 5, one of their most respected and feared members, got locked on a heavy case and needed $25,000 for bond. This wasn't some random soldier. Trey 5 was known as one of the block's most ruthless shooters. A guy who allegedly protected Key when he was just another kid in the trenches. The crew hustled nonstop, robbing, trapping, risking everything, but only scraped together $18,000. $7,000 short. Time ticking. So they called their rich brother Chief Keef. To them, this was nothing for him. He was swimming in millions, and this was for a day one who had allegedly saved him before. At first, Key said he'd handle it. Everyone breathed easy, already celebrating Trey 5's return and believing Sosa was still solid. Then Key vanished. No calls, no texts, no acknowledgement. Meanwhile, he was flexing online: cars, chains, luxury toys, even bragging about a $10,000 four-wheeler. That alone could have freed their homie. The disrespect hit deep. They felt abandoned by family. So Boss Top, King Von, and others made a choice that would end everything. They decided to rob Chief Keef, not strangers. Brothers who knew his house, his habits, his secrets. They stormed the crib he shared with his manager and cleaned it out. Jewelry, clothes, shoes, even diapers. Boss Top allegedly ripped Key's chain off his neck, a message louder than words. But it escalated fast. A gunshot rang out. Someone close to Key got hit. This wasn't a robbery anymore. It was war. They used the money to bond out Trey 5. Mission accomplished. Brotherhood destroyed forever. Key's former manager allegedly called the police during the robbery. But when officers arrived, nobody said a word. That's the code. No snitching, even when you're the victim. But silence didn't equal forgiveness. Sosa knew exactly who crossed him, and he never erased that memory. Yet, the robbery wasn't the darkest chapter. According to street whispers and deep dives into Chicago politics, King Von allegedly took out Key's cousin, Blood Money. And this is where the story turns chilling. Blood Money, born Markeel Holmes, was Chief Keef's cousin and a member of his Front Street crew. He was killed in April 2014, and rumors exploded about who and why. Officially, it was chalked up to gang warfare, but the streets told another tale. Sources and old social posts kept pointing back to King Von. The theory split. Some said Von was retaliating over past beef. Others claimed something far colder, that he targeted blood money to hurt Chief Keef directly. This happened while Key and Oblak were falling apart, which made everything feel intentional. After Blood Money's death, Von dropped cryptic posts that raised eyebrows. One read, "I'm King Von from the O from Oblak. I run shit." He flipped a Blood Money lyric into a power move. The timing was wild. A woman named Kai, rumored to be tied to Blood Money's killing, died days before that post. Some thought Von was celebrating revenge. Others believed he was admitting involvement. Jay Hood, a street-connected figure, claimed Von and Troy were moving under Boss Top's direction. If Boss Top wanted to send a message to Keef, they were the messengers. The darkest theory says Von didn't just rob Key, he took family. That's a line you never uncross. It explains why Sosa's hatred runs so deep. Proof? When King Von died in Atlanta in November 2020, Chief Keef posted nothing. No rip, no story. No tweet, silence. In Chicago culture, that's unheard of. Tributes are mandatory. Key's silence confirmed everything. Von even said they recorded songs together, but Key never released them. He'd rather bury music than give Von sheen. When Lil Durk, Polo G, and others paid tribute, Key's quiet felt ice cold. Then in 2024, Chief Keef shocked the drill world by linking with NBA Youngboy. This wasn't random. Youngboy is Lil Durk's biggest enemy. Their beef has sparked diss tracks, real violence, and consequences that went far beyond music. For Chief Keef to suddenly pop up in the studio with NBA Youngboy was like detonating a bomb in Chicago's street politics. When that footage surfaced of Keef and YB locked in, vibing and cooking up tracks like longtime allies, it was obvious this wasn't just a feature. This was a message. Key was showing the world he didn't care how Chicago felt anymore. The timing was surgical. For years, Key stayed neutral in the Lil Durk versus Youngboy war, probably trying to avoid lighting more fires. But something snapped, and when he finally chose a side, it wasn't his hometown. When the studio clip hit, members and Oblak affiliates went ballistic. Instagram and Twitter flooded with posts, making it clear they were done with Sosa. The message was brutal. If you're with Youngboy, you're against us. No gray area. Some affiliates posted they don't move with that energy, making it clear Key crossed an unforgivable line. After years of silence, they publicly cut him off. And it wasn't just outsiders talking. People who knew the real history spoke up, saying this collab was the point of no return. They weren't just mad at the music. They were furious at what it symbolized. To them, Key chose someone who dissed their fallen brothers, someone who embodied their enemy. But Chief Keef's camp wasn't staying quiet. Glow Gang fired back online with zero remorse. One member posted they didn't care about F's feelings and told them to focus on their own mess. Another laughed at the drama, dropping laughing emojis and mocking how pressed F was. That only fueled the fire. Then came the real bombshell. A Glow Gang insider claimed Keef and Youngboy had 6 unreleased tracks waiting. Not a collab, a partnership. Their response proved Key's team has been winning without Chicago for years. Building their own empire, their own money, their own power. They framed it as business, not betrayal. If the old crew didn't like it, that was their problem. Then things got nuclear when Lou Tim, the man who killed King Von, chimed in online, publicly supporting Key's move. The implications were insane. The shooter backing Keef's choice. That's disrespect on a level way beyond music. Tim's involvement proves just how layered and dangerous these street politics really are, and how this drama connects to multiple wars at once. Tim backing Key hints there's more buried history than the public knows. Maybe Tim knows details about the past between Keef and Von that make Key's moves seem justified. Or maybe he's just pouring gasoline on the fire to keep chaos alive. Either way, when the man who killed Vaughn publicly supports your stance against Vaughn's crew, that sends a brutal message. It's like Tim is saying even he understands why Key turned on his former brothers. To grasp why this moment is explosive, you have to understand the deeper code that runs Chicago. This isn't just music or money. This is loyalty, betrayal, and rules people literally die for. From Chief Keef's side, he has every reason to be furious. His own homies robbed him, allegedly killed his cousin, and never gave him the loyalty he earned after he made them famous. He turned O-Block into a global name, and they repaid him with violence. But from Oblak's side, Keef abandoned them when they needed him most. He got rich and left them in the trenches, only helping Blood Family, while his day ones struggled. When they needed bond money, he disappeared despite having more than enough. The truth probably sits in the middle. Keef likely drifted away in success, and O-Block probably expected too much. The danger comes from both sides believing they're right. Key feels betrayed first. O-Block feels betrayed first. That's how wars start. This beef shakes the drill scene. Chief Keef is the godfather of drill. For him to turn on Chicago and link with their enemies changes everything. It gives Youngboy credibility and forces Chicago artists to choose sides. Loyalty will outweigh legacy. And this isn't just online. In Chicago, lines crossed can lead to retaliation. Key seems past caring, living in LA with security, moving on his terms. The question is whether this stays on tracks and timelines or turns deadly. With Keef versus Oblak, Dirk versus Youngboy, and multiple factions colliding, the risk multiplies. Sosa has chosen his side. Not Chicago. Not his block. He's proving he doesn't need their approval. The streets are watching. Fans are split. With more tracks in the vault, this is just the beginning. F and Oblak say there's no coming back. This saga shows how street politics destroy unity. Chief Keef could have unified Chicago, but now he's their enemy. For young artists, it's a warning about loyalty, fame, and betrayal. The drill scene will never be the same. The king became the enemy. And in Chicago, that line is permanent. This beef will define careers, end friendships, and possibly lives. The fuse is lit. Now everyone's waiting for the explosion.